Welcome to the Cleaning in Motion Show, a podcast interviewing successful cleaning business owners to hear what they're doing that works and what they've tried that's failed, all to help you grow your business. And now, on to the show. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Cleaning in Motion Show. Excited to have Ryan Robertson here, Vice President of the SSG East Group. Ryan, welcome to the show. Ryan works with Stratus Building Solution, and he oversees 6 markets that I'm aware, from Kansas, Iowa, Omaha, Toledo, Delaware, and Jacksonville. Am I correct?
That's right. Absolutely. I also have a personal endeavor in the Vegas office, which you kind of see it behind me. So yes, we are. I'm an owner, and I'm an owner of a business out of Vegas too, as well, with Stratus. So.
Nice. So welcome, Ryan. Nice to have you here. Thank you for investing the time and sharing some knowledge and nuggets for the cleaning community. So I always like to start by introducing. I did the introduction of you by myself. I want you to introduce to our listeners, who is Ryan? Tell us a little bit about your background. How did you end up in the cleaning industry? And let's start there.
Yeah. All right. Well, so I'm actually from the Kansas City area in the middle of the United States. So that's where I kind of got started in 2006 in the cleaning industry. I was out of college looking for a job, and I ran into an opportunity to jump in some management training and early in my career, and it happened to be in the cleaning industry. So I for about 3 or 4 years, I helped clean nursing homes and hospitals and learned everything from the ground up. To kind of get my base of what I needed for this industry. A few years after that, I kind of started getting into franchising, which I'm super excited about, helping people get their dreams lived. We can do that through our programs through Stratus. But I've been doing this for the last 15 years now. I've been doing this. So I've been in franchising, I think 13 of it. So yeah, it's been an interesting take. I started in Kansas City running the region for Stratus. In 2011. It was really exciting. We were a really small company back then, and we were able to grow that company to where we're doing well over $6 million a year for our franchise owners. And so really proud of that stat. And so I love the business so much that I invested in the Vegas market with some business partners, great guys that I enjoy doing work with, and they're passionate about this business as I am. But ultimately, if you want to know more about me and who I am, I'm a guy who really is out there for the person who's trying to live their dreams. I take a lot of pride in that, and that's the reason I do what I do. I get up every day to come to work to help support those franchisees on a massive scale. So that's a little bit about me. But currently I live in the Kansas City market, and I travel a little bit with my full-time job too. So
nice. So you've been in the industry for a long time. Kudos to you, and congrats on your success, because I know you have done a lot of things that many people will dream on, and just by staying consistency in your lane, in the same industry, and grinding your way to where you are today, it's something that you have to really appreciate and sometimes pause a little bit and see your accomplishments now, and be thankful that you are, and that's why you're helping so many entrepreneurs now. And we'll go and talk a little bit about that in a second. But you said that you started your journey in this industry in 2006, correct?
Yes.
What has changed in the industry?
There's a lot of things I think it changed. From the standpoint of cleaning itself, not a ton. I mean, obviously COVID was a huge thing for us, but back then microfiber was the big change when I first got in the industry. But now microfiber is that everybody uses it, so it is, it's the consistent across the board. The microfiber colored, so we can cross contamination issues. We can eliminate that with colorized microfiber cloths and things like that. But that stuff hasn't changed. It's gotten stronger and stronger. I think the equipment, resources to equipment, I think has gotten easier to a degree. But overall, it's been a pretty consistent business. And one of the reasons I'm excited about the business is it's always growing. Recession proof. I always say it's recession proof. I lived through the recession in 07, 08 and kind of ran through then. And the one thing I did notice is our franchise owners, our cleaners, the people out in the field, we didn't lose business. That's the one thing that people thought we would do, is we would lose a ton of business, but we took it as an opportunity to really look at an opportunity to grow and work with companies with financial issues that maybe they didn't have enough, and we can kind of cut back services, but still give them some services that added value to them. So I do think that things have changed with COVID, though. That was a huge thing. We obviously, cleaning is, we're finding out, is a lot more important than just having someone come grab your trash can. It's a powerful message across the world that we need to take control of it and understand that our environments can dictate our lives sometimes. And COVID shut us down, put everybody in houses where we couldn't leave. We don't want to go back there. So an opportunity for us in this industry is really to help protect people from those viruses and things and stay ahead of the game. So that has changed the game a little bit in how we protect ourselves. But the stance of a business growing, it hasn't changed, right? Buildings are still being built. Opportunity is still coming day in, day out, whether that's through construction cleans, whether that's through recurring services, whether that's through cleaning windows. There's a lot of opportunity out there if you just open your door and look.
No, I agree, and it's a very steady industry, even in the marketing and sales space. Most old school strategies still work, from cold calling, sending mails, and things like that. And I think what COVID did is creating awareness of the importance of the cleaning industry, which it was just some necessity that some people had, but now everybody's aware and put the industry in the front line. And people are taking more seriously, and prioritizing their cleaning needs, so they have a healthy work environment. What would you see? What would you like to see? Because the same, going back, that the industry hasn't changed much, and I think overall, of course, there has been some innovation here and there, but there hasn't been much of a disruption, like game changer kind of things, what areas of this industry would you like to see a little bit disrupt, or where do you feel we're lacking innovation?
So let me go back a little bit, because I do think you brought up a great point, Samuel. The way we go after business today is different than we did in 2006, and I think that's important to say. We have been blessed in the last, year. We built a relationship with you guys in Cleaning in Motion, and you guys have been vital to helping us to stay in our lane. I'd like to keep it right. We hire our salespeople to go out and get business for this business, and those people were built to sell, but not necessarily really good at generating leads and generating opportunity. So back in 2006, it was a cold call effort. It was go knock doors. It was sit in your office for an hour a day and try to get as many leads as possible, and then go bang more doors. Today we really look at resources and vendors to partner up with. They're specialized in it, and we specialize in the cleaning. Now, that's not saying we can't do both, but at the same time, if we leave our focus on the growth of the business and actual ins and outs and growing relationships on a local level, that allows you guys as a company to help support us in a way that is honestly has been tremendous to our company. And I hope that we continue that relationship. But vendors outside have been a really big part of the changes that we've been able to do and focus on how we generate sales. Utilizing companies like yourself, utilizing companies like ZipRecruiter to really find talent in the field. There's a lot of different ways, but these vendors are really, really vital to our success as a business with Stratus.
No, I appreciate that, and thanks for the kind words. I do agree that marketing and sales has changed a lot, and you definitely have to adapt. But if you're a business that's starting right now and you have very low budget, cold calling still works, and the old way still works. Of course, it's only going to take you to one step further, or if you want to take your cleaning company to the next level, you will need to modernize your efforts, and go online and have your CRM and so on. So with that said, let's talk a little bit about hiring, because I think if something has changed in this 10-15 years, it's the mindset of people, the expectations of the employees. In the past 3 years, we have seen this great resignation, and people also having like crazy expectations in terms of salary versus experience. And everybody, at least in my experience, is always complaining about finding talent, And I think, yeah, the market has something to do with it, but I also think that us as a business owner have to step it up and have to like really offer something that will provide a lot of value to the employee and team member, and something that they can not only feel home, but they can see themselves in the future and they can see the growth and so on. No? So tell me a little bit, what's your process of hiring? And let's talk a little bit about the sales position or an admin position. We can start by different positions, no? But let's start about the sales position.
Yeah.
Not sure how much involved you are in that area.
I am. I'm actually the head of our recruitment and really gaining resumes, and I review a ton of resumes a day. So I think that's a great question. I hope I can bring some value here. The one thing I do see in sales is that I look for activity-driven people. That's the one thing that in sales you need somebody who obtain activities. A lot of military people have that in their background from military. They've got that ability to go out and knock things out. You know, the one thing I do see is a lot of people like to talk in today's world and not do. I'm looking for the doers when I'm hiring. So, and you're right. I think that companies do need to step in today's world and pay these people a fair salary. The price of living is going up. We can't deny that. As employers, sometimes I think we try to shove that to the back and try to play our bottom dollar line because of it. But at the end of the day, if you're taking care of those employees the right way, you know, they're going to in return give you a better return on investment on them. But it is starting with the right person. And I definitely, when I'm looking for a salesperson, I'm looking for someone who is activity driven, who has accountability on their own, right? Those people need to be able to flow and go in and out, hit appointments, hit cold calls, think outside the box. So I'm looking for some energized. I want energy when they go to the meetings. I don't like the monotone. That's something for sales. I bring energy to everything I go. I think it's imperative. I think it really gets things set in the right way. So when I'm looking for somebody in sales, I'm looking for someone who's accountable, someone who has energy, and someone who can attack, you know, really attack accountable tasks throughout a day without being supervised every single minute. So that's the kind of person, and they don't have to be in this industry, right? If you believe in the product enough and what we do, and I do, I believe that we, you know, if you sell an account as an account sales rep, that is affecting a person's family. They're going to be able to go out and use that account and gain money for their family to be able to put food on the table. And so it is a very vital position to our company. And so if you take that to the field and thinking about what you're actually accomplishing when you're out there as a sales rep, providing for these franchise owners accounts that they can go out and clean, you know, at the end of the day, you're doing a huge service to them and their family and the community around them. Because those people obviously put back into the community. It is really a community-driven offices in each one of our offices across the city, but we definitely want to focus down with sales reps in those territories. I sit down and show the impact. If they sold $10,000 in a month, that's $10,000 for that franchise owner for 12 straight months in income that they can use to generate their, it's $120,000. That's a lot of money. So these guys can really impact the lives of our franchise owners. You got to believe in that. You got to believe that when you're selling, you're not selling for you, you're selling for them. Because at the end of the day, they're the ones that end all be all. So that's what I look for in a sales rep.
No, I love it. So in my experience, and I get all the time, because we, of course, provide marketing service, and most of the clients, it's always the pressure. I need more leads. I need more leads. I need more leads. And I don't understand. You have some clients have at least 4 sales rep, no? So what exactly your sales reps are doing that you're not getting enough sales or meeting your sales goals, no? And the answer is always the same. It's that, no, my salespeople, they're amazing at closing, but they need appointments.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, everybody needs appointments. But I like what you said, that you want to find people that are basically hunters, no? That are creative in their way that approach, that are high energy, and then not sitting around waiting for the appointment so they can go and close. So at least my advice, and I would love to hear your thoughts as well, and how you train these people when you hire them, is how you turn a sales rep into a hunter and don't have them sit in the office waiting for that appointment.
Yeah, I you know, the hunter, I love that theory, is exactly what we're looking for. But I don't necessarily think you can take a hunter, somebody who's not a hunter, into a hunter. I do believe some people can. You know, it all depends on that person's skill, whether they're willing to learn and grow and be different. You know, a lot of people are stuck in a box and they don't think they can get out of that box. Great leaders can get people outside their box and to do things. And no, I've seen people in my industry I've worked with come out of their boxes, and I've seen people stay in those boxes. You got to play to your strengths. I'm a big believer in double down on the strengths and don't force someone to do something they're not really good at. So, if someone comes in a position who's never done sales, I don't really want to force that down them. But from a training aspect, we have to give them the ins and outs and the tools to be successful. And so that's one thing that whenever a sales rep does come on board and they don't understand the cleaning part of the industry and what they're doing, if they can understand the model, it's not that hard to learn, right? And you can coach them through that. You can do that through coaching and help them learn. But I don't know if you can teach the desire to go out and knock a door. It takes something special in somebody. I mean, you can tell someone all day long, and if they're not a doer or an actor, action person, then they're never going to do it. They're going to tell you all day, I hit these appointments, but are they really doing them? And I think that that's difficult when you have an outside sales rep who's not in an office that you can see the day in, day out works. You have some trust. That's why you bring these people in there who bring the energy and bring results driven people who do action to really create the results is what we're looking at. I don't know. It's a funny conversation because, every situation can be different, right? You can have different types of people in different situations, but I think sales is one of the easiest ones to get into if you're a hungry person. But if you're not, then maybe that's not the job for you, because hungry people tend to want to make money and they want to sell. And that's what is really commission driven. And so I think you need to be able to be hungry to be at that position. And I think that that's end all be all. And I don't know if everybody can learn it. Not saying someone can't, but.
No, and I agree. I think the hungry part, it's key, but it's also setting expectations, because when you hire someone, if you tell them, yeah, we will give the appointments and you just have to close them, you're already put them in a box that they don't have to look for their own prospects, right, and they're just going to be waiting, and so I think when you hire any position, you have to set expectations very clear since the beginning. And of course, push them, motivate them to go out and get the leads and build their pipeline, and don't rely on anything, just on them. And everything else is just something extra that they will highly appreciate, and they will close in a higher rate, because again, they're not expecting something given to them. In my experience, I have seen those type of people are usually the rock stars in sales in the company that are very hard to find, no?
Absolutely, they're really hard to find, and I think that. But when you get them, like, again, do we have the right salaries? Do you have the right paying? And again, when you're talking about coaching these people, it literally is going out with them on going out and running an appointment, showing them how to run that appointment, doing it live for them so they can sit back and watch it, let them ask questions. Then you're going to put them through some mock ones, right? You're going to put them some role playing in the office, showing them, have them come in and sell you. We don't necessarily, I'll have them do cold calls by calling their cell phone to mine and pitch me and try to get that. We try to do a lot of role playing, active things before we actually go live with a new sales rep. It takes us a good 2 weeks to 3 weeks to really get them in the pack, of really learning the thing. There is a pitch, right? Everybody has their pitch. Every company out there has their pitch on how they want to pitch their services. Yeah. I'm agreeing there's a pitch, but I do believe that's what personality brings. That's what sells, is the person, not the item. So I do believe that personality has to ring through when you're doing those things. But sales reps themselves are they're driven in a way for money, and I think that could benefit us in a huge way. But when you get the person to connect the money with actually what they're accomplishing on the backside with the franchise owners and helping them, that connection, when they get that, you see sales reps who can sell 15, 20 grand a month. And we have it in our Stratus industry across the whole country. We see people do it every single month. And so it's attainable. And I think some people are limited by what their expectations are too. A sales rep comes in, you limit them and say, hey, I need you to do 5,000. Well, their expectation now is 5. Why isn't it 10? Why isn't it 15? Because it's being done, but we set the expectation too low. So we set those, we really do set those guidelines. We set expectations on a daily basis. I think if you're doing monthly, you're losing out. If you're doing daily, 4 cold calls a day, 8 cold calls a day, or whatever that looks like, you have to have those expectations for them to be beat. Because if they're not, then how are you going to hold them accountable? Right. At the end of the day, we have to have weekly meetings driven down from their pipelines. They need to know their numbers intimately. And if they don't know them intimately, then are they really worth the sales rep they are? They should know their business inside and out. And when you get a sales rep who does that, the sky's the limit for these people, man. They can make as much money as they want. It's crazy. That's what I love about this industry. It benefits everybody from every angle.
I think you just gave so many nuggets there. One is that how you train them. No, it's very hard to hire a position that you have never done yourself. So you talk a lot about role playing, going out in the field with them. So that's crucial for everyone listening. I think you really have to have an onboarding and a training for any position that you hire, and mostly sales, because otherwise I have seen that people just hire sales, just explain a little bit about the industry and set them up for success in their own ways, which it's ridiculous. No, it's very hard to just with a couple of hours have the expectation of them selling amounts that will make an impact to your business. And then the other thing that I like is that it exists and it's a reality. You know, you can definitely sell, one person can sell 15, 20K a month. I wouldn't say easily, but if you're consistent and you have a process and you have a pipeline and you have goals and you're measuring everything that you do, and you improve and you have a team that support you, you can definitely get there. No,
Yeah.
So very, very good takeaways that you can get from everything that you just said, Ryan, about the sales position. I want to be respectful of your time. I'm going to ask a couple of more questions and we'll start wrapping it up. I would love to hear a little bit about the franchise side of the business, no? Like why someone would choose to buy a franchise from Stratus versus building their own business and avoiding the fee that a lot of people complain. So can you talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, great question. I get this a lot. When people come to me and want to buy a business, the number one thing they tell me is the hardest thing to do is to find business, find opportunity to grow. It's sometimes I encourage people to go out there and try their own business because you're going to learn a lot from. If you do fail, you're going to learn a lot. But I do believe that from a franchise standpoint, and what we like to add is value, constant value. We work with programs like FO Development, which is a franchise owner development program. So if you're somebody who comes in who's never done this business, we have a start program that helps them walk through initial training. It teaches them all about the business from the get-go. Then we move into phase 2 of training. And so our training will go throughout phases for them to help them grow. I think that that's imperable for growth. You can't just jump into this business if you've never been in and go do a $10,000, $20,000, $30,000 account. Can it be done? Yes, but the odds of it being successful for a long period of time are very rare. So what I would say is if the support mechanism, not only from a training standpoint, the access to equipment through franchising, we buy on a bulk from a bigger scale to add value, to bring down the prices of equipment. That helps you grow your business at a lower value. So you don't have to go buy a $10,000 machine. You might be able to get it through us through $8,000. We don't know, right? It depends. But we have national relationships to help bring that pricing down to help our franchisees out. A lot of things that are difficult you got to look at the franchise themselves or the cleaning of themselves, their company, and what challenges do they see. I see a lot of it with insurance. Trying to gain insurance for a company is difficult. Some insurances won't insure you unless you've been insured for 36 months or 2 years, 3 years, 4 years. And so to be able to prove that, to get insurance right off the get-go is tough. The great thing about franchising, they got options to insure you right away, you and all your employees, with workman's comp, right? And everything that goes along with it. Yes, there is fees, but all the fees that you get charged through franchising is deductible expenses. It's no different than going buying them up. So when you do your taxes on your business in the year, the royalty fees or any kind of fees you pay towards your business and franchising goes towards taxes and helps with your tax bottom dollar line. At the end of the day, the model is built for success. It's a wheel. I always say it's a wheel, and we need to run it like a wheel. If someone gets and does something outside the wheel, that wheel all of a sudden gets a little flat. It doesn't run as smoothly or as efficiently. Well, that's what franchising is there, to help you stay on that wheel. And it's kind of, we keep doing that loop. This is how things, work successfully. We've proven it. The burger doesn't change in McDonald's, and in franchising for Stratus, it doesn't change for us. The model, how we handle things is all the same. It's our Big Mac, and it's our special sauce, whatever you want to call it. But our franchise development is the thing that separates Stratus from our competitors, I believe. This course training that we've launched over the last 2 years has been extensive from a corporate standpoint to help our franchisees on a local level. Everything from how to strip and wax floors to gain more revenue for your business, to carpet cleaning, to just communicating with your customers. We do work with a lot of people who are not from America, and their national language isn't English. And so we've got to be sensitive to that, but we've got to give them things to be successful with. How do you communicate if you're predominantly not English speaking? So we want to help them be successful. And by adding the value of our franchise development program consistently, month in, month out, having 2 to 3, 4 classes, bringing groups of franchises in to cross and give them relationship building, helps them get bigger and growing with just the knowledge that they're gaining through those meetings and collaborations. And so our franchise development program, I think, stands alone, right, for Stratus. And I'm a big believer in it. I teach it nationally. I get calls daily about how they can get franchise owners to the next level. And it all stems from some kind of development. Someone always wants to come as a franchise owner to me and says, I want to make more money. And I ask them, do you clean carpets? Do you clean windows? Do you do construction cleans? These are things that you can go out and generate revenue instantly. If you've already got the equipment when you're cleaning, it doesn't take much more to get there. You can rent some of that equipment to get going, take that money, reinvest it, and you're off and running your own equipment. There's a lot of different things. So I think franchising compared to owning your own company, the support you get behind the scenes is the most valuable thing that I would encourage everybody to look at the franchise. I do believe that there's a lot of different franchises in the cleaning. I do believe that Stratus is the best. Only, I work there, I invested in it, I've been a part of it. But that doesn't mean that if you're an individual out there who's looking at businesses, the first smart business decision you can make is go look at every franchise and get disclosed and see how they all work. See the advantages of each of those businesses before you decide to make that investment into this. At the end of the day, when you sign with Stratus, we're going to focus down on you. We're going to set goals. We're going to look at yearly goals. We're going to try to, every year, we're going to sit down and drive those goals the next year to see where you want to be and set those goals and how we're going to get there. We're going to talk about the hows. The hows are the big things. How are you going to get there? Well, we can help out by selling some. We can teach you how to sell. You become your own sales rep, go sell your own contracts, gain more revenue your way. There's just a lot of different ways, a lot of moving things in this business. And if franchise owners get here and they've never done this before, it's a lot of things coming at them. And so having a support mechanism in there, not just being in the field by yourself, not knowing where, if you're going to your first account as a Stratus franchisee, we're going to have an operations manager on site just to make sure you feel comfortable about that first opportunity going out and making it successful. Right. So these are the things that I believe that franchising sets apart. I can't speak of the other franchisees, but I can speak for our franchise development program and get involved. And if you're a franchisee with Stratus listening to this and you're not involved in it, go get a part of it. It is absolutely imperative for the growth of your business. We've been able to grow the largest franchisee in Kansas City to where they do over 1.2 million a year. And he did it by developing himself over the last 7 to 8 years and be able to invest back in himself. The guy runs 40 plus employees, and the guy does it constantly, day in and day out. I have mad respect for people like that who come into this business and put the down and just look forward to learning. I think we get away from learning nowadays, but that's the one thing that I think set him apart to be able to take it to the next level is treating his employees right, has the backing of a Stratus franchise like us to get him to that level.
No, and I think you answered perfectly, in the sense that the only thing that you guys have to do is show up and have the right attitude, the right mindset, and everything else is almost provided by in this case, Ryan and his team in Stratus. I know they have an amazing program that will help you succeed. And if you have the right mindset and you're really committed, there is no way that you won't succeed, no? And also what I love is that you guys offer ongoing support. It's not just the first year or the first 3 months. As long as you're involved with your community and with your office, there is always something new to learn, no? Ryan, with that said, let's wrap it up with a couple of things. One, I would love to hear, how are you preparing for 2023 when we know that there is a lot of uncertainty and the recession and things? If you see the news, you really want to cry and everything is going to hell. But if you stay in your lane and see the future, I think there are a lot of positive things to talk about as well. So how are you preparing to face and rock 2023?
Yeah, well, 2023 is going to be really exciting for me personally, and hopefully the Vegas office. We're excited, man. We set the tone the first week of January. We had a team meeting out there with our staff in the Vegas office, and we set the goals, right? And I think that's the one thing, is setting the goals, the expectation. We've set up weekly meetings with them, driven down to help the franchise base, our operations manager support. Ultimately, we're trying to bring more of a support mechanism to the Vegas, even more than we already do. At the end of the day, we're 2 years in, 2.5 years in. We're doing about 50 grand a month there. We're growing right now, crazy growing. Sales are popping, so we're excited about that. You know, people keep talking about the recession, but at the end of the day, toilets still need to be cleaned, trash still needs to be emptied, vacuum still needs to go. Things need to be cleaned, especially with all the COVID. So the people are scared about, you know, if you cut that out, what does that do? Then you also need to lose employees to sick time and all the different. So it's not going to change as far as that. I do not believe that the recession is going to affect us this year. But what I'm excited about is the growth in the continued partnerships with the Cleaning Emotions and the ZipRecruiters, and really, you know, keep continuing to drive the sales metrics and drive it and drive it and drive it. And again, continuing to develop our franchise owners as they see fit. We can't make anybody do anything, but we can always offer it and keep those offers coming. And we're going to be consistent from December, you know, January 1st to December 31st this year, and consistently offering that support mechanism for the franchise owners. But it is going to be a sales-driven year and accountability year for us. But we do expect that this will be our fastest growing year yet. We've already did it this year. We continue to grow every year, even bigger and bigger. And I'm excited to see if anybody wants to get involved in the Vegas office, please reach out to us in there, and we'll definitely love to get you involved in this. But we have a great support team, and Steve and Crystal down there right now. They're just kicking butt right now. So I'm excited about it. As far as from a standpoint from my full-time job, you know, for us, it's really continuing the model and continue to grow with the franchise development program, specifically that. We have a lot of franchise owners in my system. Through my 6 regions, we've probably got over 400 to 500 franchisees, you know, so we can do some direct affecting through the franchise development program. And so that's our focus this year, and continue to hit the sales. Our sales is driven, working with companies, again, like Cleaning Emotion, expanding that relationship to the account sales side from the franchise sales side. It, for us, is going to be a huge step for us in 23. So I think it's 22 is kind of us getting to know each other on our first date. And I think that 23 is going to be the one where it takes us to that next level, kind of shooting it out of the park, right? And I think it's a good marriage made moving forward with our companies kind of together, working together. So but that's what I look for. I'm excited about 23. Our guys in Vegas and even in the regions I support are all excited about it. We've all set goals. If you're not set goals yet, do it, right? If you look at what you made last year, what do you want to make this year? If you're a franchisee, do you want to double it? How are you going to double it? Talk to your local franchisees, people in their offices. Help me get there, because we can help you guys get there. With just a little bit of training and some things that you might have to take some personal time to work through this process. But at the end of the day, understanding this business a little bit better will help you generate more revenue for your business.
The right attitude. Finally, you know, those are the words that the people want to hear. No, not all the negative stuff that is out there. We have seen it, and you have the experience. You have seen it yourself. You can thrive in a recession. In a recession, there is a lot of opportunities. If you have, again, the right mindset, if you are focused on your goals, if you are selling and you don't lower your guard, there is no reason why you won't succeed. No, I highly recommend everyone to check the Las Vegas office and get to know Ryan and his team. They're amazing. Ryan, any final piece of advice to any newcomer in the industry, any new franchisee entrepreneur that is thinking about joining the industry, buying a franchise, or just creating their cleaning company? One final piece of advice that you can give them?
Yeah, I'm gonna give, well, first of all, I'm gonna give a couple different advice. The first advice I give, first of all, if anybody out there trying to chase their passion, 3 things: show up, care about what you do, and give everything you can when you're there, right? I think that those 3 things, that was the advice my father gave me, was, you know, Ryan, you can only control so much, but you can control showing up. You can control the effort you give, and you can control how much you care. And those 3 things have really driven me in my career. And I would say, if you're going to do this business, care about it, learn, be compassionate with it, right? I think that's the thing you have to do. If you're not passionate about this business, maybe it's not for you. And I'm okay to say that. There's a lot of people out there who are not built for this industry, and that's just a fair statement to say. But if you are somebody looking at entrepreneurship. Work for yourself. I've seen people come in here working their jobs 8 to 5, and their goals are to get out of being that 8 to 5. Guess what we add? We can help with that. We can get you out of that job if you just come and take the process. And I'm not going to say it's going to be easy. It's not, because if it was easy, every single person in the world would do it. But I can tell you this, you'll have the backing of a Stratus franchise office, support office, to help you live your dreams. And I think that's a powerful message. And if you really want to change your life and really want to start working for yourself, come see us, man. We'd love to help out, and I'd love to help you live your dreams.
Amazing, Ryan. Guys, I hope you got the message. There is a lot of useful information here, so highly recommend that you take some notes, and most important, take action. And hope to see you guys in the next episode. Thank you, Ryan, so much for being part of the Cleaning Movement and the Cleaning in Motion show. Excited to have you here, and hope to see you in the future. Huh?
Hey, thank you so much, Samuel. You have a great one. Thanks for the opportunity. I appreciate it.
Thank you for listening to the Cleaning in Motion show. Make sure you subscribe so you don't miss any future episodes. In the meantime, find more resources, including more sales and marketing tactics, online at cleaninginmotion.com. That's cleaninginmotion.com. Until next time.